Is it too late to go back and tell Nebula that I loved her?
Oh, Vec!
You okay?
I'll be fine. I just don't like the feeling of this place.
It's alright. I'm right here.
Looks like the barriers are down.
So, where is Rowan?
My guess? Probably the tallest tower. Come on, this way.
If it isn't the heroes of Mythos, coming to stop me from ending this pitiful world. How entirely predictable.
Here I thought we would at least catch you by surprise.
Don't be ridiculous. I only anticipated your interference. It's only natural that a wasp would defend its hive from destruction. But I will admit that I'm flattered by the reception. So many vessels gathered in one place, only to fall to an eldritch god.
Eldritch god? You're not that scary.
Sometimes the scariest villain is not the monster lurking under your bed, but the monster that looks just like you. I've worked too hard to be stopped by a group of childish outlanders.
Then why don't we go ahead and end this chapter? I'm getting sick and tired of the premise. Riley, now!
Look out!
Danny! Thanks. I owe you one.
I've got your back, Cam.
Glad to hear it. Now it's my turn. Dan, do you have that resistance charm ready?
I have no idea, so let's just cross our fingers.
Justin, let's go.
How does that feel, you motherfucker?
He just keeps flying around! We can't reach him!
We'll give him a reason to land. Mario, do you have that cloud spell?
I still don't know why you asked me to do this.
Don't worry about it. I have an idea. Fortunately, there's not a lot of Vis in the air.
All the darkness in the air is keeping the Vis from regenerating.
That doesn't matter, though. I only need a little.
Holy shit, that worked!
It's not over yet. Chris, Sing, take the shot!
It's like we're not even affecting him.
He's not even reacting to any of our attacks.
Damn it.
Just keep your heads down. I'll fucking gut him. Ha! What's the matter? You got pretty quiet all of a sudden, Rowan.
You're beginning to test my patience, Vessels.
Then it's a good thing I was just a distraction. Now, Dan!
I didn't think that would actually work. Detonation charm, baby. Let's go!
Don't celebrate too early. He's not dead yet.
It's the final fight, and Swan still didn't bring my gun.
Is that really your top priority right now?
That really doesn't matter. Just aim for him when he's in the sky.
He keeps dodging. This is really annoying.
He can't dodge everything, right? He's not a god. I mean, he is, but he's really bad. Just keep giving everyone else an opening. Never done something like this before, but let's give it a try. Stay still.
Got him.
I mean, yeah, but it's not doing much, Lily!
Just give it a second. Watch and learn, Ovek.
She used Leviticus to freeze her arrows. Nice, Lily!
This is your time to strike. Go!
Just like old times, right? Too bad it might be our last.
Don't think about that for now. Focus on the fight.
Oh, come on! A little banner in the face of death never killed you!
Let's finish him off, everyone!
You have no idea how long I've waited to do this!
Enough of this. I believe you finally overstayed your welcome, Vessels. It was entertaining at first, but now you've crossed the line! A long time ago, following the demise of the Archangels, the goddess, Unity, created a new race of creatures that wouldn't fall to darkness. A race was neither light nor dark at its core. She called it humanity. They sprung up from nothingness, building their empire from the ashes of their predecessors in Unity's name. Religion became a significant part of daily life, and prayer was commonplace. Humanity would pray to Unity every waking hour to thank her for the gift of life. In exchange for our dedication, Unity walked among her people and gave humanity gifts of tremendous celestial power. However, for a divine being who preaches the importance of unification, I quickly came to realize that not all humans were created equal. I never knew my parents. There isn't a time I can recall their faces in my life. I've stood alone against the world all this time, starved and ignored. I did what was necessary to survive, stealing loaves of bread, swiping discarded books, drinking water from fountains or rivers. That was all I could do. But obviously, that lifestyle could not last forever. I was caught, and for my crimes I paid the ultimate price. My right to exist was torn away, and I was forced into servitude. I became a slave to Unity's perfect society. I was worked to the point of exhaustion, and if I made even a single mistake, I would be beaten or branded. As I grew, I learned to grit my teeth and bear it. The light of the goddess sickened me. I came to realize just how little we mattered to Unity. She believed herself to be righteous and holy for giving humanity the world, but in reality, she was simply granting power for the wealthiest, the most devoted of her followers. They were the ones that tormented me, and yet they never faced the consequences. I turned my back on the light entirely. I abandoned it as it had abandoned me. That was when a voice began to call to me. My very shadow started moving on its own, morphing its shape to speak to me. It whispered lost knowledge into my ears and taught me about magic so dark that I couldn't help but be compelled. That was when I began my plot. The final gift Unity gave to humanity was known as the Soul Stone. It is said that the stone would allow the souls of the dead to pass through it, and enter the heavens to mingle with their afterlives furthermore. This artifact was collected by the head of the chapel, who declared a gathering at dusk to thank Unity for her gift, and bestow its blessings upon the fallen. I took this gathering as the perfect opportunity to take my revenge. I stole the gemstone from its pedestal, avoiding guards and priests alike as I struggled to keep it within my grasp. At first, it rejected my energy, but I found my own ways to force it to cooperate. With dark magic, I corrupted the Soul Stone, turning it into the perfect weapon. I slammed it into my head and began using its power to steal the souls of every being within the civilization. By daybreak, the Empire had fallen, and I was the last one standing. I took back power over my own life and made my vow. I would destroy this world. Perfection is a lie given to us by worthless gods who couldn't care less about our suffering. Light was a mistake. Order is the reason why so many are cast out by society. I will ascend with the power of a god and fix this world. I shall recreate it, and allow darkness to overtake it once more and start it anew. I'm done with order, and I'm sick of false promises of the light. I am the savior of Rem, and I will do whatever I must to destroy it. Look at you all, battered and beaten at my feet. You've hardly left a scratch on me.
Oh shit. No.
Damn it! That's Soulstone! We can't get close to him.
I've worked far too hard to be bested by the likes of you. I've survived a millennia for this moment, allying myself with power-hungry fools who believe any lie they hear. But now, finally, my story has reached its conclusion. You're right, Vessels. I'm sick of this chapter's premise. It's time for darkness to create this world anew. It's time for...
in his forehead! Get it now before he ends it, damn it! Ugh!
Candy!
The Soul Stone! No! No!
Die!
The Citadel! It's sinking!
We gotta get out of here.
I don't think we have time. We're going down.
Then we're going down together.
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 Okay. Now let me get my mic unmuted. Holy shit! Let's go, gamers!
Nice! It's looking for a source. Hold on. It's
Oh
trying.
my
It's
god.
trying.
We actually...
Minecraft.
It's
Oh, hold
over.
on.
Oh my
Minecraft.
god.
There we go.
Holy shit. And yeah, if you
Oh.
guys didn't see, we got merch unlocked.
We got merch.
SkylineRem.co. Check it out. We got merch. Go check it out. And also our new
You can
backstage app
support.
is up there. So check it out. Fill it out if you want. And yeah. It's over, Swan. It's over. Very creative, Swan.
Oh wait, I hear fucking Fatur. Hold on.
Bro, did you forget to mute Rex's stream?
Yeah, I did.
You forgot to mute Rex's stream.
100%
Oh
did.
my god.
Folks.
Holy shit. I
My
literally
chat's
was
like,
like,
damn, you flew.
yeah, oh my
You
god, that was so fun to
fucking-
do. Like, honestly, with the cinematic, just props to everyone. Because, like, I did some of the scenes for it. Marshy did some. Candy did some. That, like, the entire Rowan monologue stuff, that was, like, the Rowan backstory bit. That was all Candy. And then Kat did the amazing still shots of, like, all the NPCs and all that, so.
Those still shots hurt.
Oh, you guys cried? Oh, it's okay. We've been accepting it over time. Holy
Been in a
shit.
state, guys. We've been in a state.
Oh my god. Holy
We
shit.
left behind a world, hopefully
Yeah,
better. than
holy
we came
shit.
into it in. But now you can sport the merch from us.
Yeah.
We totally left this behind. You can have Library. You can have Blood Oath, Vanguard, the Crystals of Rowan. You can have a
Like,
lot of stuff.
Oh my god. I
But
just can't believe it.
I can't either. It's so
It's
been a journey.
can't.
It's been so much.
Like, we worked so hard, guys, to get out this thing. And like all of the creators and backstage behind this project, it would not have been possible without any of you guys. Hey, it's okay. It's okay, guys. Don't worry. Which, by the way, I'm gonna be explaining stuff with Swan for a little bit. I'm gonna be doing my own little personal Q&A thing for my Twitter. If you haven't seen that, reply to that already. I'll get that done privately, and then I will be ending my stream and rating Rex. The official final Q&A will most likely only be on Rex's, but there might be other creators streaming it. But I will be over on Rex's stream for that.
Oh my fucking god. I'm trying to pull up another tab so I can pull up Google Docs.
Oh my god.
Everything is
so
stopped.
Well,
my Google Chrome is crashing.
Bruh, get Opera GX. It's better.
Hold on. It's actually not just close.
I
Close.
need to close my stuff, but
Close. It's trying.
oh my god.
Task manager. Task manager, save me.
Found Mythos 6 months ago. Now I cry because it ends.
Close program.
Well, just make sure to go check out the Q&A that we're going to be doing later with Rex and them. Make sure to check it out. We're going to be answering all questions. Every single one that you guys have put out. So I highly recommend going to check it out there.
But what we're gonna start with is talking about some arcs.
Yeah. Specifically, the one that I was in with Swan. That's what we're going to go about right now.
We're gonna talk about the infiltration arc. Which I'm pulling up a Google document of all the characters and all the planning and everything.
Do you want to go inside and discuss it? There's this nice office like Promunius if you want to go chat
Oh
in there.
yeah. Why don't we go? That's
chat.
the perfect place, I think, for such a discussion.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and head down there. You can just TP Swan so you don't have to worry about the NPC lag.
Yeah, we are not. We're not dealing with that right now.
We are not dealing with that. We are just good at TP. Okay, I'm in the office. I'm sitting in the chair.
Office. I have to be you now. All right, folks. So in the beginning of this arc, you won't believe how the concept of this entire arc started. The way this started was we wanted a blue crew arc. That's what we called it. Because a lot of us here in Mythos, I was the first one really, but a lot of us here have some good amount of blue. And you might be saying, Swan, not every blue person was in this arc. Where was River? Where was Justin? Well, Justin was a part of this arc a little bit. He was meant to be more. He was meant to be in more, but due to time constraints, which now you know the reason why we had those time constraints, it was for today. Yeah, so just blue crew arc. We had some difficulties, didn't we, Cam, with this arc?
Oh my god, so many difficulties.
We had to rewrite a whole part. Well, no, Justin has his coat. He has his coat, so we counted that too. See, Cam, her coat's blue.
Yeah.
She's blue crew.
Yeah.
If it was just off of hair,
It's
it would be
Peacekeepers is blue
far
and all
more
that
fewer
stuff.
people.
But like we had to rewrite this arc like multiple times for us to get the final result.
Because at some point you see, right, there was meant to be more to this arc, but we had to make cuts to fit it in time, and we nearly didn't. We were down to the deadline.
Like literally, the
down
last
to the
day was like
wire.
the arc deadline for Mythos. We were like,
thrown several loops in this.
oh my god, so many.
The first one that made us do the most rewrites was the one of the fellas that was supposed to be in the arc ended up departing. You know, no hard feelings, but they ended up departing. So if you look at the poster and you've watched the VOD, you'll end up knowing that was Kathy. She was originally supposed to be in the arc. She was the purple person on the poster. So we ended up, that was actually fortunately the most convenient time for her to depart.
Thank God.
But it was completely unexpected to us. That was a hard hitting thing. We were like such short notice. So we're like scrambling. We're like, oh no.
But we made it work, and
did,
you
we
guys
did.
got to see some amazing characters. Which
I'm not gonna lie, some of the story parts turned out even a little better with the rewrite.
Yeah.
So it's almost a little good that we had to rewrite because it was better.
Can I also just say too, props for Kat also for helping with this arc, because Kat helped with the writing a lot as well. Like holy shit.
Kat was like the main backstage, like helped at least 50-50 or like around for the writing. Cam at some point had to, you know, put on some writing pants and also assist because basically originally there was going to be 2 writers. There was going to be me and Kathy, but with Kathy's departure there was only me. So I was like, Kat, I literally cannot do this alone. Because the thing about this arc that's a little different than most other arcs is that most arcs we try to stay together, right? We mainly try to stay in at least the same area, right? We only try to, you know, we don't split off that much. But for this arc, each of our perspectives were like at least 90% alone.
Yeah.
So that meant we essentially had to write about 3 to 4 streams in one.
Yeah,
so
like
the first stream we did, it literally got to 115 pages because we were trying to dialogue all of it, and then we realized we couldn't do that.
which we broke the record at that time for the most Mythos dialogue written.
And then Candy very quickly took back her title.
Yeah, she wanted it back so bad, so yeah. But
indeed. However, then continuing, we learned a little bit better, right? On the backstage side of things, you'll notice that we ended up streaming like all of our perspectives. Like it maybe have been the same stream, but we streamed them at different times. That's the only reason we actually managed to do this arc, because we couldn't generate 115 pages of dialogue for every stream. It literally killed us the first time.
Which props to all the backstage that helped us with this. We wouldn't been able to do this without you. You guys are fucking phenomenal.
Indeed. So instead, though, with the recording like that, I also could help backstage. Kat, you know, could be able to type for everyone. Because here's the thing. Half the time when we're typing as a character, like in-game, you know, someone's having to do that. Those usually aren't pre-generated lines. So that actually saves us a lot of time. So given that Kat and I were now free to do that, and from my perspective, Kat now had the ability to do that, that freed us and saved us a lot of dialogue and time. But moving away a little bit from the backstage part, let's talk about the story aspect. Should we talk about how it was originally going to be?
Oh my god. God. The young us trying to figure out this arc fully. That was definitely fun. Like originally when we were planning this, we didn't even plan on having Primunio involved.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a into the steps thing. Actually, elimination, we weren't even going to be in it.
Yeah, elimination wasn't even a thing at that time.
Elimination, no, that was actually due to, we were planning out the arc and I was having a little bit of trouble. I will admit that I think, you know, Cam, you were also the idea person, but I think I put it into like structure.
Yeah.
Right? I put it into structure. So I was like here sitting in a call, yapping away at some poor soul for 3 hours as I sorted out my brain.
At least I could say I got the props of coming up with the fucking Lyondell 2.0
yeah, no, Cam made
with
me
the
feel
lightning axe. I am so happy about that. Like we had that approved. I'm like, fuck yeah.
It was so great. It was so good. So we pretty much elimination, you know, Rex was talking about this. He's like, well, you know, it's edict. Why not? And it's like, wait, fuck, if we get into elimination, that opens a lot of doors because we didn't want to do a lock-in arc. We didn't want to do, like, because otherwise
I learned from
Aetheria
the
entire time. So we needed some way to reasonably be let out of this facility. But this facility is an info hub, right? It's so, it's supposed to be secure, and it wouldn't make sense for them to just let everyone that has access to sensitive information go free. So, lo and behold, originally it was going to be Kathy that was actually going to get us all into information, or not into information, into the elimination crew, because Kathy was originally
going to be our information.
Info.
Yeah, she was going to originally be info.
Yeah, you know how Medea was on the info side of things? Well, that was actually unfortunately very hard to write for because that's kind of boring. There's only so much you can do in info. They literally decode papers. So yeah, we could shower her in knowledge, but there wasn't much else we could do. So then the idea of elimination was like, oh, we can make her elimination. And we actually had this whole plot where Cam was meant to die. And that did make it into the arc. Where Cam was like, they were like trying to get rid of her pretty much. But originally what was supposed to happen was that Kathy was told, everyone on the group that was transferring in thought that Kathy was information, except Kathy was pulled aside at some point and told, hey, your actual job is to kill Cam.
No, it's like, you know what you have to do. You know your mission. That was the original way of telling her.
She was already told
Hi, Tori.
beforehand.
We're talking infiltration.
Basically, Kathy was filling in for this person, right? But this person had already been told that her mission was to kill Cam. So we show up the first day ready to get our papers, and Kathy gets pulled aside, and it's like, hey, remember your mission. And so Kathy's like, what mission? Oh no. So pretty much Kathy starts off with an issue where she has to figure out what supposed mission she has to keep her cover. And so she has all those hoops to jump through. So she's playing this dangerous game of trying to figure things out, and she'd be dealing directly with Charlie. And I know one of you really likes Charlie in my chat. So it was a really great time. And
so
actually, instead of Ghosty getting captured at the end, it was actually meant to be Kathy, and that was actually meant to be because of Medea's sabotage. And the reason for that is Medea doesn't like Kathy for particular reasons, because Medea pretty much viewed Kathy as a threat to me, to Swan. Now, Swan, why would Medea care so much? Well, you may say, oh yeah, because they're friends. It was because Medea didn't want anyone getting in the way of her true objective, actually. But you have not watched my perspective. I'll let you do that. We'll talk about that later, though, because that's a me thing. But moving on, let's move away then from that. Let's talk about how things were changed, right? So one of the proudest parts, I think, of the rewrite was I feel like this was a genius stroke for Ghosty's character, right? And we unfortunately couldn't emphasize this as much because Ghosty was really meant to be given a chance to explain herself
in the finale.
However, Ghosty literally got grounded the original day we were going to do it.
Yeah, she
got grounded, guys.
We still have not heard from Ghosty.
Grounded,
so
guys.
If there's the reason why in the finale cinematic, that Ghosty isn't talking. It's because we have not heard from Ghosty, so we're assuming she is still grounded. So we worked with what we could.
So sad. It was so tragic. We ended up being able to make it work, thankfully, because otherwise I didn't know what we were gonna do.
Yeah.
So fortunately, if it had to be someone, Ghosty technically was the person, because I could, in a way, she's just unconscious from whatever they did to her that we don't know. So that ended up working out. However, it is my proudest moment to think, Ghosty's a joyful, seemingly doesn't take things as seriously.
Little nugget,
right? Yeah, you wouldn't really straight off the bat expect her to think, this isn't going my way. I can't control this situation. I need to do something about it. Because she pretty much looked at this situation. She wanted to save the people, the prisoners of the info hub. But doing so would potentially put Medea and us at danger because we didn't want to pull out. And Ghosty was kind of thinking, the longer we stay here, there's even a greater ritualist. If they capture Cam and Swan, that's going to be really bad, and especially for Medea too. The more at risk they put themselves, and they're not going to, pull out of this mission on their own. I have to make them. And so she thought to herself, how do I make them? And her thought was, if I get captured, they will be forced to rescue me. And so she pulls off this ingenious plan where she writes letters to all of our allies, this secret, letter, and then she makes sure they all escape. She comes back, and then she pretty much barges in and ensures that we know that she's been caught, and all of it happens. But she also made sure that we were set up with enough stuff to make sure we could get the suspicion taken off of us. She made a deal. She Asa was trying to argue, like, no, it's only me. I'm just, she tried to play up almost her, like, seemingly not stupidity, but like her nature, right? And so
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most genius things that I came up with for Ghosty, because it's so good, right? You wouldn't expect that of this character, but it just really shows that there's more to her. There's more behind that. My absolute favorite thing, other than, of course, why don't we talk about the deaths?
Oh my god. I remember writing, like, the basis for, what was it? What was his name again? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Which one was it?
Tom?
Yeah, Tom. Wait, no, I didn't write Tom's. I think it was a
Oh,
Dan.
shit.
It was Dan's. It was Dan's. I wrote Dan's dialogue for
Not
Ghosty.
Vessel Dan,
Yeah,
but
character.
other
The
Dan.
character from Infiltration Dan. I remember writing that, and I'm just like, there's sometimes the parts as a writer when you just get a little bit of joy writing this stuff because you know that's gonna hit people in the feels.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that when I did that, it was going to hit Ghosty in the feels so very hard, which it did. So I feel so proud of that.
Now let's talk about the planned deaths and which ones just came about, because when we started this arc, right, I maybe had 1.5 roadmaps fully fleshed out, other than Cam at the recruitment camp. We had those pretty fleshed out. Those were easy enough. It was just Cam. Those were pretty easy to set up and run, right?
Yeah.
That was really easy. There were also some of my favorite parts. I really ended up loving Alicia as a character, and every time you said Alicia, I died a little bit more inside, because now sometimes whenever I see that name Cam, my brain thinks Alicia and not Alicia.
Oh
And
god.
I'm going to lose anyway.
Yeah.
Off of that, right? There were a few deaths that we knew of beforehand, right? There were actually, I think, only 2, and one of them was even like debated. So let's begin with Dan. Originally, Kathy was at some point meant to get sent to the kitchen crew, where she was going to have to investigate them. And at the end of the day, she was actually going to be forced to kill them, like herself. Like she was going to have to pull the trigger on them almost, because it was pretty much like, give us up and then they can live and then please save them. However, Dan was still going to sacrifice himself for his crew. In the end, we gave that to Ghosty, but we kind of changed the circumstances a little bit.
Which I really like how we did it.
It was meant to be one last final prison break, because that only bought some time with suspicion and whatnot. And all of the factors just equated to we had to get out. Or at least Ghosty, then, and that group, and the prisoners, they needed to get and go, right? But that would still cause risk for us, so that's why we had all that arguing. However, Dan almost didn't die. We nearly didn't give that to Ghosty, because when we were rewriting, we're like, how much of this is going to change? So we almost thought that, well, I guess Dan gets to live, because I guess we won't really have that connection with the kitchen crew anymore. Until we did. Until we most certainly did, because it came to me naturally at some point. It's like, we really should bring that back, because we should give Ghosty to that. Because it's kind of a thing of like, some people I had more like visions of for than others, kind of like how their path was going to go. I knew the beginning and the end, and I knew the basis of everyone's like areas, right? I'm in maintenance and I'm dealing with, Victor. Victor was such a struggle to write sometimes, like such a struggle on how to deal with
Swan, stop for a second.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cat!
Thank you, Cat Gilbert! I saw Cat appear behind you! Wait,
Cat!
Are you joining us?
Cat, you don't have to...
chair. I can't. It won't let me in the chair. Let me sit. Let me sit.
I don't
let me
see you.
sit.
I don't see you. I don't see you. I don't see you. No, I see you.
Sit. Please. Please.
You can just do /sit.
Yeah. Yeah, we're no longer in character, so like you can actually be Cat.
Indeed, Cat was like phenomenal.
Yeah,
None
honestly,
of the backstage
props
have been done
to
without
Cat.
Cat, because I cannot explain shit well enough. Anyone will tell you. I'm trying to explain something. It's just it takes a year.
Yeah, that's why I'm down to explain anything. Cat's down to explain anything as well.
But back to the deaths, right? So Dan did end up dying, and I think it really, really hurt because it was done in a different way. Originally, of course, because the thing is, he had to ask. He ended up being this vigilante, or like this martyr, right? Martyr. He was like, okay, look, I'm gonna go down, right? I'm gonna go down, and I can't ask this of anyone else, and I hate even asking this of you, but I need you to help me go down. And so instead of like, this moment where they have to come to the decision themselves, and kind of Dan maybe accepting it and being like, I know you have to do this, but like, don't take down the others. Like, leave it with just me, and then please can you take care of the prisoners too? It's actually like he's asking Ghosty, I need you to do this, and I need you to help them get them all out. Like, please. Like, I'll buy the time. You need another day. This is the last day. I will buy us that time. All you have to do is help direct the trigger at me, but you don't have to pull it. And that I feel hurts so bad because then Ghosty, like, he spared Ghosty the having to deliver the news. That I think that death, I'm really glad it was brought back.
Yeah.
The second death that was planned from the beginning was Fair.
That was the very beginning.
Fair was the one I knew instantly. I knew from my perspective that there's going to be a character that's like a father figure or like just some guy that genuinely cares about Swan for seemingly little reason other than like, you're similar to me and I don't want you to go down the same path. And I just, as a human being, I care about you because Swan hasn't experienced as much as that necessarily. Like there's basic human care, right? But this guy was literally just like, you deserve it. You deserve this care. Insistent. And she's like, oh, okay, buddy.
Marcy's dead!
Oh, God.
Yeah!
Well, technically, aren't we all?
I mean, technically, yeah, we're all dead.
You're right. More alive than we are, actually.
Yeah, oh my god.
But like, Fair was my favorite character, right? And I was so worried because we had to make more cuts. We had to cut down some of the streams. There were originally going to be, I think, 8, as in 8 from the time we got into the facility. Cam got technically 8 overall, I think. The rest of us got 6. However, due to like time, we couldn't. So there was meant to be one stream where it was really Fair and Premunio centered for Cam and me, but we had to cut that down and shove it into other things. So we really only got one stream where we saw Fair. And I was so worried. So that's when I came up with the book idea. I was a little inspired by the Etheria arc because I knew that there was a mysterious benefactor who communicated with the group through books. I was like, well, that helped set up the character before they met. So I figured I'll pull kind of a similar thing here. Fair communicates through books.
Robodog, the
and
beloved.
Robodog. That's I love this
Is
image.
is it still terrifying Steve Dog for you?
Maybe. I don't know. Try it.
What? Yeah.
Robodog!
Robodog!
Yay! Robodog! We love Fair is literally, he was my favorite character to write. I'm not lying. He existed for technically such a short time as compared to some of the others, but he was my favorite. And the reason why he's named Rookie, in case I never got to say, because I think it's good information, pretty much when Fair was like, you know, injured after the explosion and slowly starting to recover and stepping into his new position because he became the director of maintenance, Vivian made him Robodog, probably out of a lot of guilt and stuff for hiding up what Victor did, but still, she made him Robodog, and for a while, Fair didn't want Robodog. He'd gotten a few, you know, cybernetics done, and Vivian was trying to convince him to get a little bit more, and he's like, no, you know, machine and metal not meant to mix, or man and machine not meant to mix. She's like, look, this will return some of your vision. You'll be able to see at least a little bit again. You'll be able to, like a guide dog, right? And, you know, eventually, though, Robodog, you know, would, like, hang around Fair, just, like, in Fair's, you know, little office or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Fair's office actually over here.
You know, Fair, in his despair, he was trying to, like, invent. He
lives!
Oh, wait, he's still in the room,
He's still in the room.
You know, Fair would be trying to invent, you know, he'd be stumbling his way around to the workbenches, all his tools clattering to the floor because his mobility is shit. He really has to get other people to do a lot of the, like, he can invent stuff, but he can't really build it. And eventually, you know, Robodog would help him. He'd go grab a wrench. He'd go do something. And so eventually he started being like, I guess you're my rookie mechanic, aren't you? And that's how Robodog got called Rookie.
Yeah. Swan, whenever you're done talking, plot-wise, I will go into the build bit, because, yeah, holy shit.
Alright, I'll try to then hurry up then, because there's still... Anyway, back to the other deaths, though.
Oh, yeah.
Was Tom planned from the beginning? I don't
think
remember.
Tom wasn't planned originally, but
Oh,
then
yeah, no,
it started
Tom
getting
wasn't.
into
Right,
it.
okay.
This is
So
before
what
we
the-
introduced Premunio.
The greatest struggle about introducing Premunio, I knew it was coming up, right? You know, the streams are ticking down. His stream is coming up where we're having to introduce him. I still don't know how I'm going to introduce him. You know? I'm struggling, right? And then suddenly I look at Tom and I'm thinking, Cam's in this room. Cam needs to get noticed by Premunio. What if the position was suddenly vacant? Or vacant? Vacant, help.
You know what you mean.
They know what I mean. What if that suddenly came to be? And also, Primunio would be the sort to be displeased at all the problems he's hearing about, because he'd leave it all up to Tom to deal with, so he shouldn't be hearing anything. He doesn't want anything to do with it except the big things and to take credit. So, I thought, what if he walks in, just says like a little word, not really much, and then stabs him with his gauntlet claws. Those were my favorite things, by the way. Cam gave me a base inspiration design for Primunio, and I'm the one that drew it, and then Candy was the one that made the skin. And then Rex was the one that gave him a voice and brought him to life.
Yeah, it was not originally.
We did not tell him to say babes. He made it.
Yeah, we did not.
Died.
Like, easiest way to say with Primunio, it was not originally planned to have any ritualists involved, like any greater involved in this. But then Rex just one day called like, "Yo, you want Primunio?" And we went, "Fuck yeah!" So we took.
Sorry.
It's like, so we took him a stride because sadly the original plan for Primunio never came to the light of day.
Well, it happened, but I don't think that content will ever see the light of day because he's taken down his VODs for Mythos, which is really sad. It was really good.
Yeah, so because of that, it had been addressed in character that Primunio had been dealt with, but never really got to see on camera, which is just
and it was only by word of mouth, so one could believe that perhaps he survived, which is actually, what Primunio was on about. The reason why Primunio is here at this info hub was because Primunio nearly died to this vessel and then killed the vessel afterwards. But still, he nearly died. It was kind of considered a failure, so he was sentenced here for his redemption. Also, probably because of his personality. He's a little problematic.
Which, with everything with the stuff with Primunio, we weren't originally going to have, once we got Primunio, we did not originally plan on having a voice or anything. But then Rex was like, yo, I'd be down to voice them if you want. And we went, fuck yeah. And we did not.
Rex probably regretted that decision.
We just told him, we only told him cocky motherfucker, and he full sent it. And I
cannot remember for the life of me what line it was, but it originally started out as a joke because Rex said something like in a Primunio voice, and he was like, and we were all like, yo, would you be down to actually voice him? And he's like, yeah, sure.
I don't remember the line either. It's just Rex really brought to life the character, and it made me so happy.
Yeah.
No, we knew Primunio was going to die too, so he technically counts on the list of people we knew were going to die. But that's kind of obvious. He's a greater, and that was Cam's. Cam was the one meant to really get this takedown. This was Cam's kind of leadership arc. Kind of. Actually, what we really wanted to do in the beginning to develop that more was to actually have us be fighting a lot more in the beginning.
Yeah, we were going to be fighting
we were meant to actually show that we had horrid fucking teamwork. Because this was a group consisting of people that didn't work together often. Especially considering that Kathy and my character do not get along. Like, last time we met, at odds, we're not, on good terms.
Yeah, because if you think about it, you got Blood Oath person with Library person with Cat, who's technically a peacekeeper, and then River, who's a child. I'm not River, Ghosty, who's a child. I got River on the brain. Blech.
So it was just all these people that don't work together often. Some of them have bad blood, some of them just haven't spoken really, and all of them are trying to work together, and Cam's trying to corral this. And obviously, Swan here isn't used to being given orders. She doesn't like it. She's like, I say shit and my opinion should be heard because most people in library listen to her. So then having to suddenly defer to Cam, especially, Swan's here like, this isn't logical, this isn't worth it. And Cam's like, no, we should. And Swan's like, So we managed to feel that a little bit with the whole argument that we ended up having and that we were arguing for quite a while. But, and also at the end, Swan did defer to Cam and was like, Cam, what do we do for the finale?
Yeah.
So that I feel was really good. Now Vivian, on to her death.
Vivian's death.
I had not planned until I was writing the scene. I was really struggling. I think my perspective actually was the one that I struggled with.
There we go, better.
I think my perspective is the one I struggled with the most, as in writing, which is funny, honestly.
Yeah.
You'd think I, have the most ideas for myself, and I had a lot of ideas, but the pieces weren't fitting together. I was struggling with my dynamic with Victor. Victor was actually meant to be executive director of maintenance from the start. He wasn't meant to get the position. It was actually meant to be someone else that had a petty shit blew up the generator. But then it kind of felt like Victor doesn't feel like the rival I want right now. This is meant, I want the themes of cyborg versus cyborg, who's the better one, and machine versus man, and that kind of stuff, like losing yourself to the machine. I wanted all those themes, but it wasn't coming through until suddenly I realized, why is Victor my boss? He shouldn't be my boss. We should be competing for the same position, and then he should win, and then I should destroy him. And that was kind of, the change that really helped a lot. But to do that, that meant I needed to switch him out with someone. Originally, Vivian was gonna kind of meant to be a second, kind of like Victor ended up being in the thing. So Vivian ended up being the executive director, and she was a character I hadn't put much mind to be honest, for her personality. Other than Niall, Kate, and Easton, I almost hadn't thought too much, and Victor, of course. So she started developing into this kind of person, and then suddenly, through another stream, like, you don't know how much of this was coincidental or shit I decided on this.
Oh my god.
Vivian and Victor originally did not have a relation. They didn't know each other as, like, children. They just met in the info hub, originally. And then suddenly, as we're working through the roadmaps and we get to this stream where it happened, I'm like, I feel like we should find something in this office. What if Vivian and Victor had a past? And so there was a photo that Ghosty found. And I was like, huh. And then that ended up being some passwords for some stuff. And then later on, we develop it even more to have, like, the reason Victor really came after me was because of what I do to Vivian. Which, yeah, Vivian actually was doing all this stuff, and she really wasn't happy, but, like, almost in a way that helped Victor. With Vivian dying, it almost snapped him out of his, like, egotistical, I'm the best cyborg in the world almost mindset. And Victor, I really wanted him to be competent. He had something to back up his words. Maybe not all the time. He did still make some stupid mistakes, but he did also make good calls. I just wasn't able to fully show that as much as I could have or wanted to. So Vivian's death, I think, really helped push my perspective along in switching Vivian and Victor really also. And the whole friend group, actually, of, Victor, Vivian, and Fair knowing each other, that was all also kind of at the moment, because the first connection I made, of course, was Vivian and Victor. But then later, when I get to Fair, and we're writing almost the stream before the finale, I'm thinking, we're developing more and more about this explosion, because I know this explosion destroyed Fair, but what else happened, Like, obviously, these guys were around, and then I suddenly established that Niall was also in the friend group, and that Niall turned down the position, and that Vivian covered up for Victor, and that's where it really started. It just really solidified everything. This was an old group of friends that crumbled. And now we're dealing with their past. And, that's why I like the end cinematic so much, because Fair's coming to speak to this old friend, and both of them have destroyed each other in other ways, and then it ends in that fiery pit, because, oh no. Hi, guys.
Hi. Yeah, sorry. I think I accidentally ended up getting into a lightning duel with Candy. So
let's talk about Cam's perspective now, just a little bit. Amanda. Amanda was a crackhead thing. Me and Kat were staying up late, right? We were working.
Yeah, I love how all the characters are written for my bit.
I randomly say, what if Amanda was like
Kirsten.
60? Or Kirsten. Fuck.
Yeah,
what if
Kirsten.
Sorry, I'm talking about Kirsten. What if Kirsten was like 60? She's like 65 or something.
Which works with the hair color.
Old grizzled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, we grab her skin up. It's like her hair's all silver, and Swan just is like,
it
what
would
if
be
her hair
really
actually
funny.
is just like graying?
Because to me, it's like there's this old, like, really hardened old woman character that's a blacksmith, so she's like also a badass, and she's the one teaching Cam how to do blacksmithing.
Yeah.
And so that started, and then we kind of have Amanda introduced, and she's kind of like almost this, like, not grandkid that she kind of took under her wing. So now they have that dynamic, and I really love it. And then Cam's coming in, and she's almost like this older kind of person, like this nephew maybe that's visiting or something. And they just have this really good dynamic. But Lowell, our boy. Our boy!
Lowell, the beloved. I loved how Lowell was written.
So Lowell, we did not expect to like Lowell as much. Kat and I have adopted him. He is our child.
God, I
Lowell became this golden retriever boy. We already kind of like planned for him to be the sort where he was going to be one of the last people to betray.
Okay.
Alrighty. He was going to be one of the last people to betray. And but he'd come back and redeem himself. He was actually meant to be redeemed. On Ghosty's end with what's her face? What was her name? Zilla? Zilla. Her name was Zilla.
Yeah, Zilla.
Zilla was meant to betray her, but wasn't really meant to be redeemed, because really the reason for betrayal wasn't that deep. It was, I don't want to be made fun of like you, so I don't want to associate with you. She was very flaky and was not a good friend. Lowell, however, was just struggling with a lot of feelings of cowardice. Like, he really wanted to stand strong and stuff like that. He didn't want to do this to Cam, and he regretted it the instant it happened. He regretted it so instantly.
He's a
he was so sad.
role.
But you know, he'd done it, and he was like, I've always done this. I've always run away, and, you know, at the point, you should just, I'm not a good person to be around. I'll do it to you again. And Cam's like, look, just tell me when you're scared. I can be brave enough for the both of us. And he's like, you'd really give me another chance? And she's like, yeah, just talk to me, man. And he's like, okay, fuck.
Oh, God. Was that everyone?
Ah, it always happens. No!
So that was Lowell. Kirsten and Joshua were really kind of, they didn't have too much to them. They really still don't.
Hello, welcome to chat. Sorry, I had someone pop in chat.
You know, it's all good. Christian, I regret naming Christian and Kirsten so similarly.
It happens, so.
I regret it. Anyway, those two didn't really have too much to them, to be honest. They were kind of just, they were meant to be the antagonists. But when I was writing, I started being like, what if he just calls people brother and sister? Because I imagined him as this semi-charismatic guy. Because he has managed to talk his way through some stuff for a while. And I mean, yeah, in a way it can be a little creepy, but imagine you're some guy, right? You're like fresh 20s, right? You're kind of lost in life. You're looking for a purpose, somewhere to belong. And this guy comes up to you and calls you brother or calls you sister. And he's like, welcome, man. You know, we're like family here. I've got your back. You know, all you got to do is stand by me. And it's like, you know, that's kind of convincing in some aspects. And Joshua, I just kind of imagines almost always been by his side for whatever reason or the other. And Christian does the talking for Joshua because Joshua doesn't like to. That's why Joshua was so silent.
Okay, Katie's working on getting the server back up right now, so just give Katie a bit.
Mm-hmm. So that was, you know, that's pretty much the characters, I think, in that area. The thing with Tom and Kirsten, though, that I really like to think is I often, like, I know we didn't really show them with much of a dynamic. I don't even think they really had the chance to talk once, right? But they were both older guys. You know, Tom had a family. He had, you know, twins, I think. Or something.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, it started getting a little confusing after the 5th photo that we added into the but, you know, Tom, while he's not as old as Kirsten, he is, like, he's at least like 30 something, right? So he's like, that guy, he's old enough to have been my son, and he's gone. And I like to think that, you know, she often got to talk with him in a way, and he respected her strongly, and it's just gone. So the memorial bit that they held, I feel really just hit.
Yeah, that was like a last minute thing to add in that memorial.
That really was last minute. It's like, I feel like we should have one, and I think we hadn't fully got it set up.
It wasn't.
So like,
I had to stall.
Towards the end of the stream, we had that fade or whatever, or I think a small cinematic or something. And so it's like, all right, guys, let's hurry. Time to set it up.
It was more like I was making sure I could stall the entire time. Just so many things with this. Oh my god! Like when the server gets back up, I really do want to get into the building because of like.
Yeah, that way you can head on over.
Oh, it's up.
So we'll take a break from talking about lore so that Cam can go over building stuff and its challenges, because Cam was phenomenal with the build.
It's not just me. There were a lot of other people that helped. Actually,
I'm gonna hop over to the Peacekeeper chat because I'm in way too many perspectives.
You have fun, Cat. See ya. Okay. Now that we're back on the motherfucking server, let's go into detail about this area, which, oh my god. It wasn't fully built when we started. We tried our best to get everything built.
I'm gonna wear the Sylvain skin for this.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, let me get my edict one on as well.
Edict time. Edict time.
Edict time. Okay. let's go ahead and start from the very bottom. Actually, the very, very bottom, if we're gonna go accurate-wise. Basically, I'm getting us all the way down into the fence. Because, yeah. Which the defense, I had some issues with, but it works out. Well, thank you. Anyways, basically, I was the one that, was under control of all the building for this arc. But I also got some help from Justin, which, bless his heart, he's the one that helped a lot. Like, the entire recruitment island, that was all him. And he helped
Justin
figure
is
out—
so good
Yeah.
with these types of pallets. Like, you
Yeah.
need something mechanical seemingly built, like a rusty,
Yeah.
rusty bucket.
Yeah,
Get him.
pipe pour and all that. But yeah, this, but yeah, we kind of were designing it, and we came up with, like, this, but actually became a battery design. And then it just grew from that. We just
It
added
did
on
have to
things.
grow, but we in our heads really called it the battery because
Yeah.
if you think about it, it's multiple floors in this cylindrical shape stacked on top of each other. We did have to add
Yeah.
some extensions to some things because it just
Yeah,
wasn't big
like,
enough.
for
But
example—
overall, I still call it the battery.
Like, for example, when you walk down here to go to the fence, there wasn't originally a staircase to go down into these random paths of hallways. That was added in maybe like 2 days before the actual stream that Ghosty would need to navigate.
Mhm.
So that was fun. Then we worked on these little individual rooms. They're pretty much cookie cutters of my room. I just copied and pasted, not gonna lie.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is like where we would be if you were a think what you mean Swan? Oh, there we go. You're good. But yeah,
We did label actually.
Yeah, we did label.
So there are labelings for like, oh, Eden is an armory, so she has this ingot above her, which is armory. So Lowell over there's also armory. We have Finian, who is actually information and elimination. So the dagger over there is for elimination, and the feather or the quill or whatever is for info. So you can tell who's dual, and you can also tell that most of these people are armory, and that's how it is for squad leaders. Most of them are assigned armory.
Yep.
So anyone that's not armory was probably someone on a squad that wasn't squad leader first, but later got promoted in their squad to squad leader.
But yeah, now we're into the main area down here. Now this, we had to kind of figure it out in between because Swan had the idea of, they're down here for so long, they haven't seen the sun. Let's give them a little bit of grass. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll take that grass and I will raise you the edict version. AK, I thought, let's throw in some liquid death for the water instead. And I doubt they would have like proper trees down here. So I thought like tainted trees would be nice. Which this style of tainted tree, I originally started to figure out, but I was helping Arky with a little build in Vitrum, like just a quick little build thing. I came up with this and then I evolved it, and this is the design I came up with for taint trees or flux trees, depending on how you feel. But we decided that everyone have just a bunk out in the middle of open, just so that they didn't have any privacy at all. Cause like it makes it harder to hide shit, so just keeping them out in the open. So
It was also just meant to be for the uncomfortable factor of, hey, you guys, you grunt people, you regular crew, you do not get the luxury of having 4 snug walls to hide out the world. No, you get 4 walls, but no, everyone can see you sleep.
Now, fun fact, this infirmary, I did not build it. This is something that Justin built. And he got like inspiration from like FIFA camps and all that. So that's what he did. Kind of got that in here. I had some fans as well that are kind of like broken. Some were working. Any events that were added after the build. So if there were fades to blacks, that was because it logistically makes sense how to build the vent fully. So we utilized fade to blacks a lot.
We built vents for the first stream with vents, and we connected them all. And then we realized this is too much. It was probably necessary for that first stream, but every time we've had to have vents, or where we go somewhere that we don't have a hallway connected to, we just connect it via like we fade. We utilized fades a lot because we had to add on builds.
Anyways, back to it. This is Adil's office, and that's actually where I came up with this design for the little plaques that you see everywhere. I'm the one that came up with it. It's like I'm looking at this banner that we're usually associated with Edict, right? And I thought it would be cool if I could make like a plaque out of it. So I took some time and I did. It just turned out amazing. Everyone started using a similar style for making plaques, and I feel honored because of that, because it looks really nice. And I really do like how Dill's office turned out. It's nice and quaint. Hey, Ovek, welcome to the talk about infiltration. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Swan, I want to steal you at some point.
All right.
Yeah, you can.
When you've got a free moment.
Well, after this, I do have to go talk about library.
It's all good. Just give me let me know when you're free, and I want to talk about that. Like, fucking, how long is this document? 9-page document with like essays worth of comments on it. I want to talk about that scrapped arc with you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anyways, we'll get back to this. Okay. Now this is a cafeteria. Now, I actually have a speed build recorded of it. I need to figure out how to do it, but it's evolved since I started it. Like I even chiseled like little trays and shit.
Trays, dinner trays.
Originally, this back area wasn't built. I think was it Cat that built this?
It might have been.
Yeah, I think it was Cat.
I think Ghosty actually.
Oh, maybe yeah. But
I think Ghosty helped at the very least because I remember her working on it.
But yeah, basically, yeah, that's the general gist of the first floor. This is what we actually count as the first floor, because this is the floor that when you...
Well, no, this is the 5th floor.
But technically, this is the first floor you see when you enter the hub, when you go down the elevator. Now, on to the next floor.
Protocols have it, anyone gets on the elevator, you're going down straight to the 5th, just in case you aren't registered, because then, how you getting out. There's a floor full of people that will deck you.
We'll go with Armory first, since I know that area better. So with Armory, yes, all the nether portals are hooked up with
I'm also
a
proud
command.
of this idea. So pretty much,
I was gonna say...
Okay, you can have the floor, you can have it, you can have it.
Yes, I get to talk now, I got the talkie mic. Okay, anyways, so when we were doing the design, one day, we're trying to figure out how the fuck we were going to do something for Armory and all that, and then we thought of the nether highways in the nether, but then we're like, how are they going to have all the nether highways work? And then the crackhead idea came into our head, and we called it Monsters Inc. Nether Portals. And literally, in the actual document that for the drawing, this is labeled Monsters Inc. Nether Portals. Because we had the idea that they were cycling through, and each portal was synced to a different nether highway. Now, for the sake of simplicity, and I don't want to build like 5 million nether highways, we decided to settle on like 4, and I literally planned out outlines and gave it to Justin, who did the palette and everything for the nether highways, bless his soul. And then the rest of us came in and we actually decorated the nether highways afterwards. He did really amazing on that palette. I really appreciate him for that. I think we can hold off on going to nether highways, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, like we got a little inventory area where there's a lot of weapons, which we made a nod that eventually Ghosty was going to get a hammer by throwing in the hammer that she would get, the base thing. So, yeah, we thought that this would be a great arc bit for Ghosty to get her hammer, because she always wanted to get one, and we wanted to be that gateway. So, just like a nice little general area for Armory stuff. Now,
Sam didn't spend much time in here, but Lowell most certainly did.
Yeah. Now, into electrical, into the maintenance area, which Justin handled all this build, and all we told him was electrical from Among Us would be so cool. And he literally recreated electrical from Among Us. Like, if you look at this is like the light panel that you have in electrical in Among Us for handling that task. All these tasks back there. We originally had a sign over here saying, don't vent, it's weird, or something like that. And then Justin...
for the last time, stop venting, but then we actually were going to utilize vents, so we took that down.
Yeah, and then we started... Justin added computers in there, and then we came up with a Thombook Pro. Like, our headcanon was, after that, we were joking about Edict being Apple users.
Due to, we had the generator was kind of last-minute add-on.
Yeah, I still don't know who left the single torch in here.
We needed it, but, like, I wanted a proper hallway, because originally it was a vent that was connecting it, which I thought was a little odd, but Justin then went and connected it. But due to, like, everything already being built and planned out and everything being very well laid out, there wasn't really room, so we hid it, and, that was fine.
Yeah, that's why the vents became a thing. It's like, when in doubt, if you can't come somewhere, vents.
Yeah, but for the generator room, it really didn't make sense for it to be connected via a vent. So this is the technical main room that everyone gathered in every morning because I just ended up using it as the main room.
Yeah. I'll be on the next floor whenever you're ready.
Yep. I'm here.
Okay. Now this was like one of the first rooms I actually made, which I wish we could have been in here more because it has so many details I never got to show.
Such a good floor, and
Yeah.
Kathy was really gonna explore like a lot of it. And
Which-
when Kathy was a part of it, she was even gonna have a lot of like Kathy Medea like interactions where she snuck in here, but that kind of had to get handed over to me.
Which props to Lily, because Lily came in and made these chandeliers without me knowing. Bless her soul. But yeah, there's like these little details that I can now show better. Like, of course, we added the archives room last minute because I forgot to originally build one. So you have that nice little archives room. But if you noticed in the build, if you saw these, this is actually little tubes that you could actually throw papers down. I made it so that in theory, if thrown correctly, you could throw the paper down. And I'm like, this is gonna be so cool to show off, but never got to. But yeah, see, you could throw it in the hole, and then
I
you could come
tried
down
to at some
here.
point, but it wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, this is the first time I got it to work in a while, but yeah, that was the same process. Like, that way they could throw stuff down, throw stuff up, and all that. It was just a neat idea. But yeah, it's just generally this is where the decoding and all that stuff would happen. We were thinking about like making little decoding situations for Cappy at the time when we were gonna do that, but because of reasons, we had to.
Yeah, early on, before Kathy had left, we were like, this isn't gonna work. So that's why we scrapped, showing like having an actual perspective and information. That's why we kind of slotted that to Medea. That's why we kind of handed Kathy actually elimination, because that perspective I could work with and could make interesting on the daily. And that also worked for those of you that know what Medea's done. It really worked for her like controlling then the flow of information we really got.
And now for the floor that was not finished building. This was I finished building this like maybe a stream or two before we actually had to come onto this floor.
And there are still empty offices because we would chip away at it. We like did rooms as necessary by this point.
Yeah. So like we had like a little waiting area built in here, which Kat helped with us too as well. Thank you, Kat. Little offices to work with. This never got shown, but I had actually built like a little armory area up here for, let's say, something happened, this would be a way to protect the executives and the other directors up here. They had like a little army at their disposal if something ever happened. This meeting room over here, this was, I'd say built maybe like a couple of days before the actual situation that we needed it for. So, yeah, which I really liked how it was. Sucks I had to make it even, but we work with what we have here in Mythos. But yeah, I took some of this basic design, and this was originally, I stole the design from where the conference room ended up being, because that was where I had put a meeting room. I changed it to a conference room last minute, just because it would make more logistical sense. Let me see if I get the right hallway. I get the right hallway. So, for example, not all these rooms are done. Like some of them are cookie cutter. Like, Kaylee Childs, was just a copy and pasted room that I have. Oh God, I don't even know. But yeah, so Vivian didn't have that much detail. This is pretty much copy and pasted, but we did add a little panel in here as a little schematic.
Why can't I creative?
I think the server lagged. Yeah. So of course we had like this little. I had a little room in the back from where I was like working on
Yeah, this was a scam. This wasn't actually redstone to just
like this one. I had to kind of like wiggle in last minute because this was not originally planned. As we said, we didn't have a plan fully for Vivian, so that's what happened. Kayla Child's like pretty much a thing. This was just a vacant office because we didn't have another person there, so we labeled it vacant. And this is what used to be Tom's office, which I decided at that time, this is where I came up with this design variant of the logo. And I thought that he would be buried in paperwork. It seemed like a character trait of him. And it was the idea of giving him twins, like, during the one stream.
Almost to humanize him a little more, to just make people, like Cam and everyone aware
make
that
you
he
cry.
had a family. so that when he died, it's like now his family doesn't have a father. Also, can we just admire the the shortenings, the what are these called? You know, like EOA and EOI and
You
those
mean
things.
the title
Acronyms.
abbreviations? Yeah,
Yeah, the
abbreviation.
title abbreviations. Can we just admire them? Because Praemunio's is like
Director of Armory, or DOA, which is
which
also
means dead
another.
on arrival,
Yeah,
and he was going to die.
we're
He
not
was
gonna
fated to.
we're not gonna question my fares as Dom.
We're not gonna totally accurate.
Wait, let me see if I have. Let me see if I can find.
That's why I find them funny. There's just a lot of good ones.
Wait, I think if I'm right, I have the schem for this conference room. Give me 1 second. Teleport. That way I'm there. I need to find. Oh yeah. Slash schem load. Conference fine. That way we can actually view it. There we go. Cool. I had made this one just in case. This was originally going to be a meeting room, but due to how we decided to change the ending, we decided, you know what? Fuck it. It'd be cool if this was a conference room. This is where, at the time, Permunia would contact Ignis and be like, yo, I just got a vessel. I would love a nice, juicy promotion. I know there's Supreme slots available. Like, I'd like a slice of that
was
shit.
talking to when Cam kind of burst into the room. He ended a call with Ignis.
Yeah, which we personally would not write for Ignis because we don't know Ignis as a character, and we did not want to borrow the character.
Anything we have to get run by like either Rex or Candy, depending on like whoever's character it is, we run it by them, and we did not have time to do that, so we were kind of just like, yeah, let's just we'll imply it.
We never saw Stell's office, but this is why. It's because we didn't have to come in here, so I never built it. Same with this vacant office. The only ones that were built were Praemunios.
Estelle was going to get more use when Kathy was information.
Yeah.
But again, with that change, she wasn't used as much. She surprisingly found some use taking over maintenance for a short period. But yeah.
But yeah, so when it came to building Praemunio's office, I just thought, you know what would make him seem more like a monster? And because like we had the idea if he was like hunter trophies and all that. I'm like, we don't really have that many trophies, like hunting trophies to work with. And I'm like, wait, I came up with this when I was building it. I'm like, he could have taken a part of the Twilight game and did that. So I thought, you know what, make the chat even cry more. Yeah, so that's why those are there. To make it
then they were the raised platform because Praemunio, of course, you just enter. Praemunio is going to look down on you.
Yeah, it's pretty much we made him fucking cocky, and I love it. And Rex did an amazing job. Like after playing him for the first time, like bouncing off of each other, like I had a Fade to Black, and me and Rex were just like talking, and we were like, he was just having fun playing Praemunio.
Oh, this Praemunio and Kirsten's backstory, like their relation.
Oh, yeah.
Something we decided a little bit more last minute because we thought it would be some nice connector themes to have, like, Cam is Kirsten's current pupil. Praemunio was a failed, other pupil of Kirsten's, and now they're fighting, and it's kind of like your soul weapon versus mine, except mine actually has my soul in it.
Yeah. But yeah, another thing too was the reason why I went by the name Luck, because I'm the one that named Praemunio. His name was Luck. I was like looking for names that meant fortitude and all that, because basically Praemunio is armor, fortitude, strong, and all that. So I was like looking, and I found the name Luck, and I really loved the ring of it, especially with how this arc is. I thought it was the most fitting name for the guy. And I'm so happy we did it. But yeah, this entire first floor was done by Justin. He also designed the elevators. Like, if it weren't for him, I don't know if like this would be at a good starting point. So thank you again, Justin, for all the help. Thanks to everyone that helped out, because I know like Arky Flame and a few other people helped with this as well. Also thanks to like Candy and Rex also for helping out with this last minute. And can I just say also the cinematic for this, we never will write a cinematic last minute ever again, because I was in agony.
No, never again.
I was in agony trying to get that all
never
recorded.
do deadline hell again.
Like, I literally finished the cinematic not even an hour before that stream. I was that down to the wire trying to get it done. It was a mess. But yeah, I really loved how this arc came out, and even though we had to rewrite so many times, we worked with the rewrites. It was so worth it. But
the rewrites were almost like a chance to just re-examine things, and we made it better for it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's all I really wanted to touch on infiltration.
And I think that probably should be where almost I end some of my touches on
Yeah, we've been
infiltration as
talking
well,
about infiltration
because
for a
I also
while.
have other arcs to get to,
Yeah,
and
I
for
gotta
me,
get
I
to
do
as
plan
well.
to one day do a video where I talk about how I would like rewrite some stuff. So this is not the last time I'll be talking about this
So
stuff.
Swan, you can go now.
Hmm?
You go talk to your people.
Okay.
Yeah, see you at the Q&A.
Fuck, what room I take?
Believe. Okay. I'm gonna deafen while I'm talking to you guys. Cause yeah, there were some scrapped arcs for me as well. Like, I was originally gonna have a flying arc where I actually learned how to fly. That never happened because time constraints and all that, but hey, it happens. And fun fact, just so that you guys know, originally with my character, I actually went into Mythos knowing I was going to be an angel. And at that time, angels weren't fully developed yet, so it was kind of like rolling with the punches on how we would play it out. Like ever since I logged in, my first stream of Mythos, I was going to be an angel. It was already decided, so we had to play it by ear the entire time, and yeah, we figured out character traits here and there, and yeah, originally too, my reveal was actually gonna be during the Etheria reveal. Fun enough, that was originally when I was going to be an angel, which if chatters had watched at that time and noticed, I was the only one that was able to activate the crystal, which that was kind of touched on in the Etheria arc, like the overall one, which I'll be joining them to talk about that later. Most likely not on my channel, but on Rex's. We'll be raiding Rex after this. But yeah, like, and then it got pushed, and yeah, which, by the way, can I just say, trying to stream while sitting on the ground in an 8-hour stream was not fun, but hey, it's whatever. But yeah, coming to the actual reveal, which we decided was after that entire arc up there. That was really fun. Hello, welcome. But yeah, it was really fun, and Candy helped me write that cinematic for the angel reveal. That was my first time ever using Blockbuster as well. I definitely can say that I've definitely gotten better. Which, guys, fun fact, yeah, me, Marshy, Kat, and Candy all recorded the entirety of the cinematic that you saw at the beginning of the stream. We worked so hard on it. Like, I am not gonna lie, I recorded maybe for 14 hours yesterday to get all the shots done in time so that Candy could edit it all up for you guys to see, which I'm really happy that you guys enjoyed it. It really brought a lot to my day. But yeah, I don't know if there's anything. Oh wait, I do have the Q&A. I have a couple of Q&A questions on my Twitter. Nothing too crazy, but I am gonna go ahead and address them. Like, they're specifically for me. I'll go ahead and load that up. Which, yes, I have the Mythos Twitter on my phone because I handle a lot of the PR stuff for Mythos. Okay, so according to my tweet, I only have like 2, which I don't mind. I don't mind. So we're gonna go ahead and address them here. So Cheese asked if you could change anything about your character, like what they did, how they looked, their actions, who they interacted with, would you do anything? Let me think. I mean, there's definitely a lot of stuff I could have done differently with Cam. Like, if I had the flying arc, that means Cam could fly more often. Which, the reason why Cam didn't fly a lot, it was decided that Cam was gonna have issues flying, was because of the sole fact of the matter of it just ruined the awe and pizzazz. And like, I could skip so many things if I knew how to fly. But if I didn't know how to fly, that means I could still go through like parkour bits and all that with ease and not mess up plot wise, because I would be able to finish everything before everyone else could, which is just not good storytelling. So that's what we went with. And Scout Angel, at that time, angel types hadn't been created. So yeah, it's like, honestly, if I had a choice, I would have most likely gone chorus if we could have made it work at that time. Because I really do like to sing a lot, so it would have been really cool to have done that. But yeah, you just came in at the finale. But you can view all the stuff on my channel. Let me well shit, I forgot. I don't have that. Let me quickly get a link to my channel for you guys. There's my socials, there is my card and all that. And for this project specifically, you can go ahead and check out our Twitter. and our card that we have as well. We just dropped merch today, which that's fun. SkylineRun.co, check it out, and yeah. But basically, Scout was one I created, and I created mine for a content creator to be able to use and kind of like bounce off of what I had. Which the main reaction I had to start with learning how to be an angel was literally during the bathhouse where I had to figure out how to bounce the cough out. I basically learned how to be an angel from the get-go, and yeah, it was honestly, I regret nothing regarding being an angel in Mythos. It's really fun. I really enjoyed it. And I really loved all the stuff in the Aether. It was so fun. And the other question was, did ever Rex yell at Mythos Cam when she told him about the infiltration arc? We never got to explore that. That is one thing that did get cut. Like, we were going to have that, but due to continuity's sake and all that, we had to cut that. But yeah, so we never got to really figure out how Rex would have reacted. So hopefully, like, maybe I'll talk to Rex in the Q&A and see if we can find out. But yeah, I think that's it for me. I think it's done. I think we're done here. God. This is just hurtful, but anyways, guys, thank you so much for supporting me on my Mythos journey, which honestly, if it weren't for the people accepting me into Mythos, I wouldn't be here. It's really opened me back up to content creation again. My passion for content literally has been brought back to light because of it. So thank you, Rex Candy, for taking a chance on a small ass creator that literally started streaming maybe like a couple of months before Mythos began. Honestly, it was phenomenal. I really enjoyed this journey, and I can't wait for whatever projects that are in the future. I cannot wait to be a part of that journey. Thank you so much for being amazing friends, and thanks for taking a chance on me. Anyways, it's been me, the Camelot Warrior here, and I will see you guys in another stream. Mythos Eternal, guys. Mythos Eternal.